Do you ever feel like the pressure at work, the deadlines, the pivots, the constant uncertainty is breaking you down instead of building you up? Well, you are absolutely not alone. We've been taught to bounce back, to push through, keep it all together, separate work over here, home over there. But what if that approach is actually what's keeping you stuck? What if there is a better way to handle challenge, one that actually makes us stronger? Let's consider that.
You've got a why. Let me help you bring it to work. Consider your life, be on purpose.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Jennifer Meyer, also known as Consider Jennifer, and this is our place to take a moment and breathe and reflect a little bit on our life and how to create the experiences that we want at home and at work. I want to talk today about something most leadership development programs never teach: the difference between bouncing back and growing forward. There's this concept I've really been thinking a lot about recently, and it's called antifragility. The more I study it, the more that I read about it, the more I realize that this idea of antifragility, it shows up everywhere. It's in psychology, you can find it in spirituality, philosophy, you can even find it in leadership science. And when you integrate it, what I mean by that is really live it, it changes how you lead, how you work, just how you show up in your life. So let's talk about anti-fragility, because it's more than just resilience. Resilience says I can recover from hard things, but anti-fragility says I get stronger because of hard things. It's like a muscle. It grows when you put stress on them, or when you develop a creative work. I mean, sometimes your best ideas show up when the plan completely crashes apart, right? And that kind of growth, it doesn't happen if you are compartmentalizing everything. It just doesn't. And if you're keeping your work life way over here and your emotions like way over there and your values somewhere buried in the bottom of a drawer, you're not fully integrated. You're really just surviving. And surviving isn't enough. It's not enough for the kind of life or leadership that most of us want to have. And like I said, what I love so much about this concept, it is that you can find it in not just one school of thought. That's usually when I know I found truth, right? It is everywhere. In psychology, they call it traumatic growth. It's the idea that people don't recover from adversity. They often gain new purpose, strength, or a sense of self-awareness because of the trauma. In spirituality, especially contemplative traditions, we hear of this idea of refinement, that difficulty purifies us, not to punish us, but to make us more whole, to bring in the sacred. It shows up in Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius says, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Go read Ryan Holiday, "The Obstacle is the Way." It's not the obstacle that blocks us, it becomes the path. And in systems thinking, Nassim Taleb coined the term anti-fragile, which is describing systems that improve when they're stressed. He says some things benefit from shock. They thrive and grow when exposed to volatility. And honestly, in real life, is that what you already know? I mean, we've all lived that. You've had to adapt, you've had to stretch, you've faced things that completely cracked you open and totally changed your way of living. And then maybe you're just now starting to realize that that was your upgrade, that crack open. So, what does this have to do with work? Right? Absolutely everything. In corporate and tech culture, we're taught to perform, not to integrate. And so we're supposed to leave our stuff at the door to keep it professional, to bounce back fast. But real leadership, the kind that people trust, the kind that people want to follow, that's the stuff that comes when people have been through things. Like they've learned how to lead from their adversity. And that's what anti-fragility is all about. It's the leaders who integrate their values into their work, who align their work with the things that matter most to them. Those are the leaders that aren't fragile. And it's not fake resilience either, okay? It's steady. Those leaders are human. They're the ones who create teams and cultures that last long term. And again, this isn't just philosophy, which is another reason why I love it. Your biology is actually built for this. In evolutionary theory, the species that thrive over time are not the strongest or the fastest. They are the ones who are able to adapt. Anti-fragility is evolution in motion. And at the individual level, the team level, even at the cultural level, our brain, our nervous system, and your habits are all a part of this. It's all combined together. Neurologically, stress isn't the enemy. And actually, mild to moderate stress enhances learning. It builds stronger neural pathways and increases motivation, especially if it's followed by recovery and meaning making. Go figure. But when we don't integrate that stress, when we're shoving it down or ignore it, or we try to push it away or just get through it, or it's not real, that's what leads us to burnout. That's when we start getting brittle. So this idea of anti-fragility, it's not just a mindset, it's a biological thing. Like your nervous system was designed for this. It wants to adapt, but it needs your self leadership in order to be able to do it. Okay, so how do we build anti-fragility? Let's try to make this really practical. As an individual, you can build anti-fragility by noticing your default reaction to stress. I mean, do you freeze? Do you fawn? Do you work a lot? Do you overwork? Awareness is always your first strategy, always. Second, reframe the tension as data. What is the challenge asking of you? What is it showing you about your values or your limits? It's supposed to be a place for you to get information about yourself. Three, create some space for reflection, because integration happens when things are quiet. This can be journaling, it could be walks, it could be real conversations with people you trust. Maybe it's just taking a breath, but you have to schedule time to reflect. Taking small risks regularly. This is so important because anti-fragility is like a muscle. It's important to practice it. So try something unfamiliar. Start the thing that you want to do before it's perfect. Invite the uncomfortable in. Now, as a team or an organization, you can build anti-fragility by normalizing feedback and reflection, not just after a crisis, but all the time. Create space for your teams to ask what worked, what didn't, what did we learn. Reward curiosity, not just performance. Make it safe to play, to experiment, not just to win. And support psychological safety, because people absolutely cannot grow from tension if they're afraid of being punished for it. Nobody's going to try anything new of failure if they think you're going to lose their job. And modeling integration from the top down. If leadership shows up as whole human beings with clarity, with care, then teams learn to do the same. People will do what they see you do, not just what you encourage them verbally. Anti-fragility isn't about avoiding stress. It's about designing your life and work to grow from it. And that takes intention. It takes values, it takes leadership, and all of that starts with you. So, if you're in a season right now where things feel messy or uncertain or unfair, I want to just offer this. What if this isn't something you have to get over? What if this is your moment to get stronger? And not in a toxic silver lining way. I'm not talking about that. In a real grounded way. What if you paused to just consider, what is this moment teaching me about me and how I lead? What values do I bring forward more boldly right now? And where Where can I integrate instead of compartmentalizing? How can I bring all of my lessons and life together? Because anti-fragile people don't just bounce back, they build better. It's very agile. And that's what I want for everybody. So if this hits home, leave a comment or send me a message. And if you're leading a team and want to talk about or explore how to make your workplace more human and high performing, then let's talk. As always, guys, thanks for being here. I so appreciate your time. And don't forget, consider your life, be on purpose. Bye.